questions or taking questions on YouTube? I'll answer anything you have.
We can look.
Okay. And I'll be talking about the Scholar.
Emil Cadlick here with the Scholars DFS Cash Game Tips Show. Boy, that's a long one, I'll tell you what. And we've got John here. John, how are you?
I'm doing great. What a big news day, Emil. Things are always changing. We've had my cash game, my Scholar Sheet of Knowledge since Monday, but I've been working on updating the lineups, updating the sheet. The final lineups will be put out tomorrow. I want to make sure we have last-second news covered for the readers, but I'm pretty excited for this weekend's game. I feel really good about where I am with my research and knowledge.
Excellent. I'm sitting here on Periscope just putting a message in so we can watch those people and the people on YouTube, so that'll be fun. So you ready to start with slide one?
Absolutely, my friend.
There we are.
So for everyone who's watching, what Emil and I are going to do are give you a few sleepers to help you organize your team around. And these are all available on footballdiehards.com on the Scholars Sheet of Draftkings Knowledge. If you want the full details, you want all of the plays, the lineups, go to there throughout the season. But on Saturday night, Emil and I are here to give you some options so that you have an opportunity to put together a smart lineup and make sure you win in the black. So 3 sleepers for DFS this weekend that I'm clearly looking at. One of the decisions I think every DFS player has to make is, am I going to pay up or down for the quarterback position? It's not very often that I'm going to pay up, and when we're on a show like this, I want to give readers and listeners an opportunity to make their own decisions. Patrick Mahomes, I'm not going to tell you to start him unless it's such a great opportunity. So this week we have a lot of plays on the high end, and you can see who I like on the sheet of knowledge on footballdiehards.com. But one player that if you are looking to invest heavily in the running back position, if you want to spend up at the wide receiver position, you're going to have to save money at the quarterback spot. And one of the plays I like a lot this week is Tyrod Taylor. The Chargers are playing the Bengals. They're going on the road. But you're talking about a quarterback that's only going to cost you $5,600. It is not going to hurt your salary cap by any stretch of the imagination. Why Tyrod Taylor is even more intriguing. He has a nice floor. I don't think he's going to run like he did when he was 26 or 27. But there's a really good chance that Tyrod Taylor will get between 20 and 30 yards rushing, which is 2 or 3 points. If he could ever get a rushing touchdown, your goal. The Bengals defense to opposing quarterbacks last year, they finished 25th in Draftkings points surrendered. The Bengals have made upgrades on the offense. They have some players injured this weekend on defense. I like Tyrod Taylor if you're looking to build around a cheap quarterback. And Emil, did we get some hot news today or what? I mean, I no longer get worried when a player is out. That was my younger days. But after 32 years, I realized, yes, it is an opportunity for someone else to step up. In my job as a fantasy football expert, as a fantasy football fanatic who plays in a ton of leagues and loves DFS, you have to find the next man. You have to move to a different player. You have to be ready to pivot. Miles Sanders did not fly with the team, the Philadelphia Eagles, to Washington. That opens up carries and opportunities in the Philadelphia backfield. The player that you're going to want to target, and I think right now he's probably going to be owned on a large percentage of teams now. But the opportunity there is Boston Scott. Boston Scott is only $4,800. That gives you a lot of opportunity to place your salary in other positions. Now, last year, the Washington Football Club was 31st against opposing running backs in DraftKings. Now, I believe with a new coaching staff with Ron Rivera, with some new pieces, the first-round pick, Chase Young, I do believe the football team, the Washington Football Club, is better on the defensive side. But they still have some weaknesses, and I believe Philadelphia will be able to move the football. So I was looking at Boston Scott. Wow. Last game of the season, the regular season against the Giants, he had 35.8 points. Against the Washington Football Club in Week 15, he had 13.5. And again, against the Giants in Week 14, he had 24.8. He averaged 8.8 fantasy points per game last year. I like him in this spot when you consider his opportunity share here, not only from the line of scrimmage running the ball, but also catching the ball. He's a proficient pass catcher. Yes, Corey Clement will get on the field. We know that Peterson is going to rotate some backs and give other backs opportunity. But I do believe that Scott will get the most carries, passes caught in the backfield. I like Boston Scott here for 4,800.
By the way, John, just quickly, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Tyrod Taylor right now, we have ownership percentages this year on the website. Tyrod Taylor is 2.8% owned, if that matters.
Oh.
And of course,
that's nice.
That's nice. And of course, Scott's going to change. So, get on the site on the daily games. There's a ownership percentage, and I'm sure it's going to change early tomorrow morning. And of course, we'll watch how that goes. So then you'll be able to use that as additional value to figure out what you want to do.
That 2.8% Emil in a GBP is very fascinating. Can you do me a favor? Can you look up what the site says for Keenan Allen? What does the site say for ownership percentage of Keenan Allen?
It is 6.29.
Wow. If you can get a quarterback wide receiver combo for like an alternative GPP, that's pretty nice with those ownership percentages. Right? You're getting low ownership with high upside. I mean, look at Keenan Allen just signed that big contract. Mm-hmm. The Bengals aren't very good. Mike Williams I don't believe he's going to play, right? Last I knew. That's very interesting, Emil.
Anyway. Continue on. I apologize for interrupting you.
No, anytime, my friend. Now here, how about my other guy that I like a lot? Anthony Miller. I don't think enough people are talking about Anthony Miller, my friend. I'm kind of shocked by this. Look it. Mitch Trubisky does extremely well against the Detroit Lions. If you look at him career-wise, let me look. I was looking at the numbers. I want to make sure that I'm correct with everyone when I give you numbers on him. So here he is. Mitch Trubisky last year against the Detroit Lions. 27.9 DraftKings points, 3 touchdowns week 13, and 19.7 DraftKings points, and another 3 touchdowns in week 10. I like Mitch Trubisky here. I get it. He's Mitch Trubisky. There's risk here. But he should have success against the Lions at home. And the matchup dictates that Allen Robinson is going to garner the majority of the attention of the defense. I think Anthony Miller is a super sneaky play. He's only $5,000. And Anthony Miller, when he started to peak last year, if you look at his numbers right around week 11, 11.4, 13.7, 26, 13.2, 29.8. Then he fell off at the end. He was a little bit hurt, banged up. But I think Anthony Miller, no one's talking about him, Emil. Do you have any chance? What's the ownership on Anthony Miller for a sleeper play?
Yeah, let's take a look. 5.38%.
Wow.
That's a fairly low guy.
Yes, if Anthony Miller So at 5,000, you're looking at 3 times value. So you're looking at you're hoping between 14 and 16 points. If he can get in the end zone and he gets you the 7 catches for like 70 yards, you are in great shape with Anthony Miller. I like him as a sleeper, and with that low ownership, that's a really interesting value, my friend.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, you ready for slide number 2?
Absolutely.
Here we are.
All right, so each week, Emil and I want to bring you a fantastic 4 who are going to be tomorrow's DFS heroes. This is the main slate on DraftKings. These players are locked and loaded in my Summa and Magna Cum Laude lineups. You got to go to footballdiehards.com to check them out. They are on the value plays and the top shelf investments. You need to go there and see how we are going to use them tomorrow. For our show here, I want to give you the core of a cash game build. These are 4 of the 8 players that you can put in the lineups. I'm not going to always go to the top of the board because if you want to get Christian McCaffrey in your lineup, you're going to need to save money. If you want Michael Thomas, you're going to need to save money. So I'm going to give you that mid-range player. Sometimes I'll give you a bottom shelf player if I love the matchup. But this week, my fantastic 4 to build your lineups in. I've been saying it all for a long time now, Emil. Emil's heard me on a lot of shows and a lot of mock drafts. I am all in on Cam Newton. $6,100. Patriots are going to smack the Miami Dolphins tomorrow. I am betting on Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniel. Cam Newton appears to be healthy. I'm not necessarily worried about week 6. I am worried in DFS cash game about the 1 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Cam Newton appears to be healthy. Now, there's conflicting reports. Some reports say Cam Newton looked good. Other reports say Cam Newton doesn't look good. Look, those are subjective. We have not had the opportunity to see Cam Newton in a preseason game. He's starting quarterback with Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniel against a terrible defense. So my fantastic 4 to build around this week at quarterback is 6,100 Cam Newton. Now, I'm going to see here. Let's see where he ranks in price. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's the 11th price quarterback with an exceptionally high ceiling. Number 2 in my fantastic 4. Look, I'm not the only one. I've loved Josh Jacobs for the last 3 weeks when I started doing my research. He's against the worst run defense last year in the NFL. They've lost Luke Kuechly. I believe they drafted 7 rookies, all on defense. This is a young, inexperienced team with a new coaching staff. John Gruden is a good game planning coach. He understands where the weakness of the Panthers are, and that is running the football. Josh Jacobs, I don't care if he's owned on 50%. Oh, great question, Emil. What is the projected ownership on Josh Jacobs?
18.8.
Oh, I hope it's that low. That's perfect. I would be happy. I mean, PPP is different. You still might take him. But 18% in cash. I think he might be the highest scoring running back tomorrow on this slate. That's his ceiling. I also think he has an incredibly high floor, minimum of 15 points. Love Josh Jacobs. He is going to destroy the Panthers. Gruden can game plan this running game. He's going to hide Derek Carr. This is the spot where you hide him. He's got 2 rookie wide receivers. Josh Jacobs should have 25 carries in this game. Easy. Love him here. Now, I want to save some money at the wide receiver position. I can't emphasize how much I like these 2 receivers enough. DK Metcalf. This game let me see what I got for the over-under. Seahawks Falcons, as of this morning, when I updated my sheet of knowledge, was the highest over-under at 48.5. Vegas is telling us this game is going to shoot out. I am betting on Russell Wilson here. You can go Tyler Lockett for $6,500. I'm going to go down the board and save $700 for DK Metcalf. I think he gets open deep. I think they're going to take their shots with them. I love him in this spot. And the guy I'm just absolutely in love with, Marquis Brown. He is going to rip the Cleveland Browns up. Everyone. Cleveland is hurting in the secondary. They have a rookie safety. I don't think their corners can cover Marquise Brown when they're healthy. So that is my fantastic four. And Emil, what is the ownership on DK Metcalf and Marquise Brown?
All right, Marquise Brown is 13.5 and Metcalf is 12.5.
Those are nice ownership numbers. So that is a really nice, fantastic four cash game. You can use that for your core, everyone, and then you build around it. I gave you some sleepers on the other side, some for GPP. I gave you a fantastic four for cash games. This is where you can start your build, my friends.
Excellent. You ready for the next slide, the final slide?
Absolutely.
Slide number 3, GPP.
So I know we call this a cash game build, but I wanted to give people another opportunity. I know there are GPP players out there. I have my ears open all the time. Look, if people are going to stack Cleveland, Baltimore, people are going to stack Atlanta, Seattle. People are going to stack Raiders and Panthers. They're going to do 49ers and the Cardinals. So if you're looking to differentiate and finish in that 5% of a GPP, one of the things you need to do is find a stack that is not being used. And what I mean by that is 5 players in one game. I don't hear anyone talking about this very interesting matchup between the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. I think this is a super sneaky stack. It's over under 45, so it's higher than most people think. It's not the 48 that the other games are, but 45 is a pretty nice number. You also have Minnesota as a home favorite. No, I have not heard or read or anyone has discussed stacking Green Bay and Minnesota this week. I think this is very sneaky to score high. I was looking at first Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I understand in season-long leagues, people were enthralled with him. He's a little bit up and down. But Aaron Rodgers is going to smash at times. Trying to identify those games is one of the keys to winning a GPP. A lot of people like Devonte Adams this week. There is tons and tons of chatter. Devonte Adams against the Vikings, 26th ranked pass defense. And the Vikings defense on paper right now looks a lot worse than it did last year. And they have a lot of turnover. So if you're taking a defense that played poorly against opposing receivers last year, you have turnover on the defense. They're missing their best player, right, Emil? Isn't Hunter out, their best defensive lineman?
I do not know.
I think.
We'll check
okay,
on
so
that.
one of their best defensive linemen is not going to play. I love Devonte Adams in this game. Well, if I'm in a GPP, I want the correlation with this quarterback. There is a chance that Aaron Rodgers throws 3 or 4 touchdowns. If you get 2 touchdowns to Devonte Adams, that is a huge advantage if you have him with Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people are going to be on Devonte Adams, but in GPP, how many are going to pair him up with Aaron Rodgers? Then, in a stack, I'm looking at 5 players or more. What am I coming back on the other side? Hey, My man Dalvin Cook just signed a big contract today, folks. Doesn't he want to freaking justify that contract? Don't they want to run all over the Green Bay Packers? And the game script says Minnesota should be winning this football game. If Minnesota is in the lead, that means Dalvin Cook is having an excellent day. Green Bay was 21st in the league last year against opposing running backs. And I looked at the numbers. Here's the 2 games that Dalvin Cook played. Let's see, Green Bay. He had 154 yards rushing and a touchdown and scored 31.1 DraftKings points in week 2 against the Packers. I like him in this spot a ton. Go ahead, start Dalvin Cook on the other side with game script. I also like Adam Thielen. How many receivers there? After the Stephon Diggs trade, they drafted a rookie in the first round, Justin Jefferson, and they have Olabisi Johnson. I believe that Thielen should at least get 10 targets in this game from Kirk Cousins. He's their main guy. And Green Bay can be beaten on the back end. They're vulnerable there. So I like Adam Thielen here. And then you need a play to hit that saves you salary. What if Irv Smith for $3,100? If he gets into that end zone, Irv Smith, all you need is 9 points. If he gets 4 receptions for 35 yards and a touchdown, you are golden. Now, everyone, there's risk in a GPP contrarian stack. The game could go totally opposite of what we are looking at from game script. But if you want low ownership and you're looking to differentiate from the other players in this huge player pool, I think the Packers-Vikings is good. And Emil, do you have some numbers on this stack? What does the diehards tell us about ownership level?
Well, let's see. Irv Smith is 3.7.
That's nice.
Let's go see what Rodgers is. If I could only spell. He's 2.29.
Oh, that's what you want in a GPP.
That's pretty low.
That's perfect.
Cooks has got to be high. Let's go see what Cooks is. He is 12%.
That's under my 15 threshold. I don't think that's awful, Emil.
Yeah, no, that's not bad. And Thielen is 10.3.
That's nice too.
I can't believe Adams is going to be that low. Adams is 14.5.
You know what? My goal is always to have in a GPP contrarian under 15% ownership at every position. That fulfills the criteria. So I that's a sneaky one. I like that. Look, everyone's going to go Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, Odell. We know that, right? Yeah. If I want to beat all of them, I need to go with a different stack.
Oh, that's a great stack. I love this one. Can't wait to put some lineups in here.
Yeah, and look, then you still get 3 people who you like, and you can, who do I want to pair up on these players, to fulfill my lineup.
Wow. So everybody, if you've got a subscription to FootballDiaries.com, you can find the ownership under the game, daily games tab. And if you don't, and if you sign up, you can use the diehard code, get 15% off. I love the ownership. I've always wanted to have ownership, and that's just a frosting on the cake.
We have everything you need, Emil, on Football Diehards. And I update my Summa and Magna Cum Laude lineups every Sunday morning. I've already updated the value plays, the top shelf plays, because I added Boston Scott already on the sheet. But
Excellent.
After I get off the show, I'm going to be spending the rest of the evening working on my lineup decisions. I got to go back to the drawing board, got to do some projections. But by tomorrow, I'll be posting those new lineups for everyone.
Fantastic.
But we have so many good things there. Check us out, man. Football Diehards will help you get in the black.
And also on the ownership, hopefully we'll get some updated numbers early on Sunday, mid-Sunday morning, because that's going to change. He's going to go way up, so you'll want to see what that is.
Absolutely. And that's this. So he's going to be an interesting GPP decision. If he gets over 30%, 25%, do you want to kind of pivot off of Boston Scott? Cash games, I'm pretty much okay with that. I'm not worried about, I'll be honest. In cash games, I don't want to worry about ownership. I need to score the most points with my lineup.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see tomorrow morning. It's exciting. Sometimes we overreact when somebody gets hurt, but somebody's going to be running the ball, and Scott does have good numbers. Maybe Clement comes in there and messes things up a little bit, but he'll be used and maybe overused. So that is an issue with GPP.
And you know what? Honestly, from a fantasy football perspective, sitting Miles Sanders out week 1 is probably the right decision for the long term, right? We want him healthy on our season-long teams. We want him healthy in our DFS lineups. Don't put him in and then let him get hurt. That's the worst. We hate that, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay.
And the fact that they didn't even have him travel tells you that he was pretty hurt.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which is a little concerning for week 2, but we'll obviously follow that very carefully as week 2 progresses and see how he does in practice. So at least in season long, you didn't start this guy tomorrow and then he ends up playing 2 downs and pulls the game or whatever. So at least and you can make adjustments.
There's nothing worse than your player going out in like the first quarter. You're like, oh man, it's hard to overcome that.
Yeah,
it's hard.
That's painful. We don't even want to think about that. Well, great stuff. Great stuff, John. This is fantastic. I can't wait to put my lineups in. And good luck tomorrow and any other things that you want to bring up.
No, I just will be here every Saturday night, barring some, natural disaster. But if I'm here, Emil's here, we're going to help you all year long with our Fantastic Four. We'll give you that contrarian GPP lineup. And just understand, a contrarian lineup has high ceiling, but it has a lot of risk. So you have to understand when you're entering a GPP that it's all right. Like, do you really care if you finish in the bottom 10%? Or the bottom 70%, you still lose.
You're trying to get in the top.
You got to get in the top, and sometimes you have to take risks to get there.
And by the way, we're doing this on YouTube and Periscope. So, if you're on YouTube, definitely like us. If you're on Periscope, you could go over to YouTube, like us, and that way you get automatic knowledge that we're on. And, of course, we've been sending emails out, too. So if you want to subscribe, Periscope users subscribe to go to footballdiers.com and use the diehard code for 15% off. Beautiful. Well, I can't wait. It's great doing this. This is fantastic.
Excellent. If you want, everyone, I'm on Twitter at GridironSkull91. You can ask me any DFS questions there. I can help you out with lineup decisions if you want. And please, go tomorrow morning. It should be up by 9 a.m. Eastern Time. The Football Diehards, the Scholar Sheet of Knowledge with the updated information.
Fantastic. And what's this 91? What did the number come from?
Oh, that's actually the year I earned my master's. I'm old, Abel.
You've got a master's degree. What's your master's degree in?
Oh, in history. I have a master's in history with the focus on America international diplomacy of the 20th century.
So we could promo the show as the two masters.
Yes.
Or something like that.
The DFS cash game masters. Something like that.
That may be misleading, though.
we don't want to mislead the viewer too much.
Well, it'd be true, but somewhat misleading. Fantastic. All right, have fun the rest of the night. We will see you guys next week. And check out the article tomorrow morning or the updates.